Everybody, welcome back to another Classics Are Better. I'm Travis, and today we're going to see if some Vice Grip Garage Shine Juice can spice up my old Chevy C10 here. And I'm also going to kind of delve into why I'm going with the Shine Juice versus doing linseed oil or poppies, stuff like that. Let's get to it. All right, my friends, so as I was saying, I am going to use some of the Vice Grip Garage Shine Juice today to see if I can spice up my old truck Bandit over here. Now, in the past, I have used some of this boiled linseed oil. It has really good results, or at least it looks nice to me. The cons is that it just doesn't dry very quickly and or totally completely. Like if you're on a dusty road, stuff like that, it is going to collect debris. If you park your car outside, it's not going to be, super awesome over time, but it is extremely affordable to do. It is super easy. It's just as wipe on as anything else, and it's temporary. So it's kind of one of those cons. It doesn't last as long, but if you don't like it or you want to change something up and reapply, it's cheap and easy to do that. Now, the other thing people use is this Patina Clear. Now, I actually got some of this rub-on clear coat for this truck. That was the original plan. So I got the instructions and it says, do not use this on single stage paint, AKA spray paint, because it will reactivate it and you will just smear it out. And since 95% of this truck is faux patina with spray paint and stuff like that, that's single stage paint, that ended up being a no-no. Now I will say Poppy's patina was super cool. I reached out to them about it. They told me I could load it in a gun, spray it out on the truck, and it should do the same type thing. I think now they even have an aerosol can that you can do for situations like this. I just was like, I don't want to risk it after all the work on the faux patina, even though, like, who cares, right? Because it's faux patina. So anyway, long story short, that's why we're going to try out the Shine Juice today. It's nice that it's temporary. Hopefully it doesn't make it look too shiny. I don't want that look. I also don't want it to look really dull, like WD-40 on there kind of thing. So with all that said, I just want to put out there that I am not sponsored by anybody on this video. This is just stuff that I paid for myself to use on my own junk, but I figured I'd record the process, take you guys along for the ride, and hopefully you guys learn something from it when I do. Anyway, let's get this truck juiced up. So I figured I'd venture outside real quick for you. It is super hot out here, but I wanted to give you a view of the truck out in the sunlight before I put the Shine Juice all over it. That way we can kind of do a before and after kind of thing. I mean, it looks pretty good as is to me, but hopefully we can get it looking a little bit nicer. So it is Texas summer and it's 101 out here, so let's get back in the shop to do this. Prep is key, as with anything like this. So I've got the truck cleaned off, I've degreased it, I've dusted it. It is as clean as it's gonna get. It is not perfect, but look at the thing. It doesn't need to be perfect. I just don't want to be tramping a bunch of obvious dirt and junk like that underneath this surface. Time for application. So what I'm going to use is just this little applique that came with the Poppy's Patina sauce. It's essentially like a piece of foam wrapped in a microfiber towel. If I didn't have that, I would actually use just like a clean microfiber towel or some kind of soft, like old t-shirt, something like that. You just don't want whatever you're dragging all over your vehicle to scratch it up kind of thing. That's probably enough talking, so let's get after it. Actually smells really good. Now I just want to spread it out as even as I can. Here is the obligatory half the hood shot kind of thing, getting it done. I think it's turning out really good. Now it looks really shiny on camera because it's still pretty wet, so it will cure a little bit and we'll do some, afterwards type things when I'd have the whole truck done. But yeah, just kind of wanted to run you guys down that line so you can kind of see how it's looking here. Now my only gripe, and I'm sure it's my fault because my patina hood is a little bit rough and it's hard to see, but some of the little stringies or hairs, whatever you want to call the, I guess it would be like the little stringies of cloth or thread from the applicator have kind of hung up on here, and I do not like that. So I might try and use like an old undershirt or something with like a tighter weave and experiment with that on some of the rest of the truck and see if that's less of a problem. And I will let you guys know, and then we'll take a look at this thing once I get it all knocked out. Review on the white tee is it doesn't leave behind as many of the little stringy like type threads inside, but it also doesn't apply it as evenly. So pros and cons. That was really tedious, but pretty straightforward. So I got the first coat up on here, and I think I might only need one. So it came out pretty shiny. The only issues I've seen so far was just kind of on the hood starting out, having those little stringies come out of the applicator. But after I used it for a while, it was pretty much fine for the rest of the truck. Now, plan is to let it sit here for like 5 to 10 minutes. We're getting to about that 10-minute mark after getting the stuff on here. So what the plan is now is to go through and kind of wipe it down, buff it off, that kind of thing. Just get to like the thinnest level or layer I can of the shine juice. If you come across anywhere that's like blotchy or you have like rag marks or looks kind of weird, stuff like that, essentially what it said when I was looking into it was to reapply another really thin level and then kind of buff it out over that. So supposedly this stuff is pretty forgiving. I guess we'll find out. Post wipe down, it's looking pretty good. Still needs to, you know, dry a little bit, which really doesn't dry. It's almost not even tacky anymore at the surface, which is why this is better than the linseed oil. But I think it looks good. It's kind of got that sheen on there without actually looking shiny, and I didn't want a gloss, so it's kind of like a satin, I would say, almost like a satin gloss on there, but looks good. I had one issue. It had set just a little too long right here, and you can kind of see where there was a bit of a drip line. I tried to re-wet it and get it out a little bit, but it didn't totally work. Just a fun safety heads up. Put your applicators and stuff, if you can, out on the concrete, out on your driveway, hose them off, stuff like that. But they tend to heat up, especially with linseed oil. But this stuff too, it's gotten so hot that the original applicators that I put the first coat on with are too hot to just touch with your fingers right now. So don't wad up the rags and stuff and throw them in your trash can. That can cause a fire, but safety tip. Now the ultimate test on this is going to be seeing it out in the sunlight tomorrow. So let's do that now. Well, it's the next day and I'm pretty pleased with it. It came out looking really, really good. I did turn the truck around for you guys so it'd be facing the sun just for a little bit more pow. Say, I really like how the roof came out. It is shining up there. Even though it's an oil-based product, so it doesn't really dry. Once I, you know, buffed and wiped off all the excess off the hood and stuff like this is all dry now to the touch. It's not tacky or anything like that, which is one of the big advantages over, say, like linseed oil and stuff like that. It just stays very lightly tacky. I like that this kind of hardened up. More good news is while I was buffing this off and drying it and stuff, getting all the excess, it got most of those threads cleaned off of there, so everything was a lot nicer up on the hood. I have found 2 little spots now that it's out in the sun. One right here and one on the back fender where it was just slightly blotchy, and I need to just kind of re-wet it and buff that out, but not a big deal. Like, everything else looks great. Very impressed with it. It was very forgiving, and like fixing these little things, not going to be a big deal. I had a few tacky spots last night that I kind of had to go over. Again, not a problem at all. So I would definitely highly recommend Vice Grip Garage Shine Juice to anybody that wants to be somewhere between linseed oil and a full-on like Poppy's wipe-on clear coat that's permanent. But yeah, really happy with it. If I had to do it again, I think I would just go section by section, like do the hood, then do the fender, then do the door, instead of just doing the whole truck and then going through and having to buff everything off. That was just kind of intense at the end. I think it'd be easier just to pace yourself going piece by piece, but live and learn, right? As always though, y'all, thank you very much for watching. If you got any value from this, please consider hitting that like or subscribe for a tiny channel like mine. It really helps out. Get out there, get wrenching, y'all. Until the next time, have a good one.